Hey, what's up everyone? First new video of the year, and this is something that I actually wanted to cover a couple days back. Just haven't had a chance to make any videos till now, so hopefully y'all will check this out, share it if you get the chance, and comment below, get some engagement here, and we'll probably have a good discussion about this one because this is something that's been a little bit controversial, right? The whole ThunderCats Roar cartoon. Now, initially when this was announced, I didn't do any videos on it because truthfully, when I saw it, yeah, you know, it's I mean, look at it. You see what it is right there. You can see it on the website photo here. I mean, it's not something that looks all that visually appealing, and it's not something, truthfully, that I thought that I would even bother to watch. But I did. But we'll get to that in just a bit. But this obviously caused a lot of controversy with some of the old school fans of the series, as well as people that just generally appreciate ThunderCats a lot and have really closely followed the lore of the series, that also watched the 2011 series. So when this was initially announced, I know there's a lot of people that weren't too happy or keen on the idea. Now, the question has been, were they justified in their rage, as this person will quote in this article here, or weren't they? I guess we'll find out here. But the reason why I brought up this article particularly, because I found it to be, you know, to me, it comes off as a little bit of a trolling article, but you never know. The person that writes this article could be being completely serious with all the things they put here, but I found it interesting, and it's one that I wanted to talk about and kind of comment on a little bit. So let's just go ahead and get into the article, and just so y'all know, I'll go ahead and link it in the description below if you guys want to check it out for yourselves, but obviously don't bother the author of this article or anything like that. I'm not even going to mention his name. I mean, I'm sure you all find it for yourselves, but like I said, don't bother this guy. He's entitled to his opinion, even if it's wrong. But again, that's my opinion. So, but let's get into the article here. When ThunderCats Roar was announced in 2018, the internet went into a rage. The very existence of this comedic reboot, wildly different in style from previous ThunderCats series, angered many fans of the original 1985 cartoon and its short-lived 2011 reboot. Others used the series as a proxy for complaining about Teen Titans Go, about the inaccuracies named CalArt style, or about the state of American children's cartoon as a whole. All this based on a couple of preview videos and some promo art. So first off, let me just say something right here. Okay, so yes, this was back in 2018. I thought initially, I was like, okay, that looks horrible, but whatever. Like, it's not something that appeals to me, so I just completely dismissed it. And then the funny thing is that then we didn't hear pretty much anything about it in 2019 at all that I can recall. There was no updates that I could remember, so it seemed like this might not even be happening. Like, it was something that was probably at some point even teased. Like, for a moment I thought it had been canceled, like many others did too, or that they probably weren't gonna fall through with this because of all the negative backlash they initially got from old school fans and things like that. I thought that maybe that might have actually had some influence, and they decided, you know what, maybe we shouldn't follow through with this, let's just scrap this. And then silence until just recently, and then I found out, oh wow, they actually went through with it. They actually made this ThunderCats Roar cartoon. Wow. But the thing that this author says here, the author says here about the whole thing with the CalArt style, about the inaccurately named CalArt style. I mean, it's pretty much inspired by that. So I mean, I don't think that that's inaccurate at all. Again, my opinion, but to each their own. Okay, little was heard about the series since that announcement, with some conspiracy theorists believing the show was secretly canceled in response to the backlash. See, and the thing is, that's what I kind of thought too, and not that I was buying into any conspiracy or that I was actually following this, because truthfully, I didn't care. I honestly didn't. It's something that, I saw news about, then completely forgot about, and then maybe thought, okay, well, maybe they're not going to go through with it. I wasn't following this intently, just like I'm sure many others that were covering this weren't really following it all that. I mean, there probably was some people that were following it intently, but maybe people like me that had heard about it and saw it and said, wow, that looks like garbage. You know what I mean? And then, just completely forget about it, right? Don't think about it anymore, and then it doesn't come up again. So it was kind of like out of sight, out of mind, pretty much. So, but let's continue on here. Oh yeah, the only previews in that time have been in 2 Cartoon Networks coming next year, as the show missed its original planned 2019 release, but less than 2 weeks into 2020, Cartoon Network finally posted the first 2 episodes of ThunderCats Roar online on its app. Okay, so let's continue on here. So after all the delays and controversies, how is ThunderCats Roar? Judging by the premiere episode, it's fine. Not some sort of surprise masterpiece, but certainly not worth all the rage it initially attracted. Those who worry ThunderCats War would be just another Teen Titans Go might be pleasantly surprised. It's not a parody of ThunderCats, but a new version. It still works as an action-adventure show, just one with more intentional laughs as opposed to the 80s version's unintentional ones. Stylistically, it's closer to a hybrid of OK, KO, Let's Be Heroes, and Mao Mao, Heroes of Pure Heart, even utilizing some similar gags, characters having traded cards like OK, KO villains, announcing their survival of seemingly fatal situations like a Mao Mao. Okay, so, let me go ahead and just focus on what this person says here. It's not a parody of ThunderCats, but a new version. It still works as an action-adventure show, just one more with... Okay, it totally is a parody. I watched both episodes. It absolutely is a parody. And the reason I say that is because when you watch how the characters are portrayed, they're really poking fun at the tropes, right, from the original ThunderCats is what I think that they're doing here. It's definitely a parody. It's not, if him trying to say that it's not is completely disingenuous. It absolutely is a parody. And if you watch it, anybody who's watched the old school ThunderCats series will immediately know that it's a parody, which is fine. You could go ahead and make a parody series. That's fine. But to say that it's not is completely disingenuous. And makes me think, that's what kind of made me think, that's the first indication to me when I was reading through this article. I was like, this guy's probably trolling because he knows that it's a parody. It absolutely is a parody. They make fun, like I said, of the characters, you know, the things that made the characters stand out, right? Their characteristics from the 1980 series, they definitely poke fun at those. That, you know, Lionel being this kind of meathead type of leader that's obviously inexperienced and is very impulsive and things like that. They really poke fun at stuff like that. You know, and with Tigra being kind of like this voice of reason, you know, they have, you know, Wily, none of the characters, like I said, they don't feel like any of the characters from the original series. I don't think they're supposed to, but they're definitely trying to make fun of them in some capacity or another, and making fun of the tropes that were in the series. I'll give you another example here. Towards the end, actually it's at the end of the second episode, spoiler alert, when they see Mumra's true form, which is the skinny little mummy, before he, you know, transforms into the big old buff mummy, they all laughed at him, which is something that, of course, you know, that kind of was the only thing I kind of chuckled at, because it's like, yeah, you know, had the Thundercats seen him in that form back in the original series, on a regular occasion, they probably would have laughed at him. So it's kind of like there's things in this series that they're doing. I guess whoever decided to make the series probably did watch ThunderCats to a degree, and I don't know to what degree, but saw tropes that they could easily make fun of in this new series is what I think. So this person saying that it's not a parody, it's totally a parody. I don't. It's not a series at all. And the thing is, it's not... Well, I'll get into what I think about the series in just a moment. Let me continue on here with the article. The animation, the subject of much of the initial controversy, is actually one of the most enjoyable parts of the show. No, it isn't. It's really bad. The animation is horrible. I don't like this style of animation. It's garbage. It looks like garbage. It does nothing for me aesthetically. It's not pleasing in any way. It's not even comical in its exaggeration. In my opinion, it just looks dumb. It doesn't add anything to it. It doesn't make it more funny because it is this kind of really silly, cartoony, you know, kind of whimsical style of animation. It doesn't add to anything. It's not good. It's just bad. It to me, it just comes off across as very low effort, very lazy, a very lazy style of animation. Maybe that's the point, to try to get laughs, but it doesn't work. It doesn't work in this at all. Let me continue on. This is a big difference from Teen Titans Go, which, whatever your thoughts on the quality of its writing, definitely put less emphasis on its visuals. Sure. Thundercats War, in contrast, is a very visually driven show. No, it's not. See, again, this is where to me it comes off like this writer is is trolling, because no, it's not. It absolutely isn't. But hey, look, there is small possibility that this person could be serious in what they're writing here, but to me it's just like this dude's got to be trolling. There's no way that he really thinks all this. He's just writing a trolling article. Those controversial simplified designs are used well both for fast-paced, fluid action scenes and expressive comedy. No, see, that's the thing. What he says here, simplified designs are used well for both fast-paced, fluid action scenes and expressive comedy. I mean, I guess sure, I could see what he's trying to say there, but again, it's not funny. You know, the expressive comedy that he's talking about, it's not good. The biggest problem with these first two episodes, in the first more than the second, is that the pacing is a little too fast. Scenes start and end with little room for transitions, and comedic timing is just slightly off as a result. I could agree with that to a certain extent. I mean, but even still, like I said, the comedic timing just wasn't there for either episode that I thought. It just wasn't funny. To me, it felt like they were really trying to force a lot of humor and really trying to do a lot of over-the-top stuff to be funny. And one thing you'll notice if you watch these two episodes of ThunderCats Roar is that they really, right off the bat, start running jokes into the ground. Like when they start... The only thing I'll say, because I don't want to spoil it for anybody that might actually want to watch it, but this is one of the little spoilers I give. There's in the beginning of I don't know if it's the first or second episode, but when they mention Mumra's name, people get struck by lightning when they mention his name, which is like, okay, they run that joke completely into the ground, just completely. Like, it's not funny the first time. It's not funny the first 5 times that they do it, and then they do it like another 5 times after that. And I could be exaggerating, but they definitely do it quite a bit, and it's not funny, in my opinion, any of the times that they do it. So that's just me, though. Let me go on here. Perhaps the speed helps get through all the first episode's exposition within the 11-minute time frame, but the show... Oh, yeah, that's another thing, too. The episodes are 11 minutes each, the first 2 anyways. I don't know if they're going to be longer format or if that's going to be the standard format for episodes, but yeah, first episode is 11 minutes, second episode is 11 minutes, so just put that out there. But the show would be better if it could just catch a breath for a few seconds. The second episode improves in this regard. No, it doesn't. It's just as bad. It's still very fast-paced, but the payoffs for certain running gags are able to land with some laughs. No, they don't. It's really... To me, the humor felt very contrived and very forced. And if you watch it, you might think the same. Like I said, there was only one thing that I chuckled at, and that was at the very end, I believe, of the second episode, is when they saw Mumra in this true form. I'm like, oh, okay, that's funny, because, you know, if they had harkened back to the old days and they had seen him like that on the regular, they probably would have pointed and laughed at him a lot too. So, okay, cool. Is ThunderCats Roar the type of cartoon that will attract a huge adult cult following like Steven Universe or She-Ra and the Princesses of Power? Judging by the premiere, probably not, but it might actually be the best ThunderCats cartoon. Now I know you're really trolling, homie. All right? Because I know no, it's not. No, it's not. And you know it's not. You know what I mean? It's way... And how do you determine that being only 2 episodes in? Come on, bro. Now I know you're trolling. Come on. Face it, the original was just dumb as most 80s cartoons, only sustained in adults' memories by nostalgia and unfulfilled potential. That's an opinion, man. The cartoon was good. It was a product of its time. Sure, it had some things that were silly and unintentionally funny, as a lot of cartoons back in the 80s as well as the 70s or 60s. There's always flaws to find in all these older shows, but overall, it was still a good cartoon. And for its time, you know, it was a very visually appealing cartoon for its time. The action was good, and it kept people engaged. Sure, one could say that there's a lot better writing these days in shows. I think there's definitely an argument to be made there. But this person is completely just dismissing the old ThunderCats cartoon as like utter garbage. In my opinion, that's what it's coming across here. Like he's saying, hey, look, it was trash anyways. You know, it's just like, no, it wasn't. And while the 2011 version was ambitious, it was never quite as good as the anime it took inspiration from. I mean, that again, you know, I think there's room for debate there. I haven't seen the 2011 version, but I hear nothing but good things about it. A lot of people really liked it. They thought it was a good successor to the 1985 series, and for the most part, most people were pleased about it. The reason why that series didn't really catch was not because of rating so much. It was really because of other factors involved. I believe one of the presidents on the show, I think, was one of the chief executives on the show. It might have been one of the directors or producers on the show, I think, was replaced midway through the making of the first season or something like that. If I'm not mistaken, I'm sure somebody will correct me in the comment section below. I'm pretty sure I'd read it somewhere that one of the main proponents of the show was replaced midway through, and also the fact that the toys, the merchandise, it didn't sell well. The merchandise wasn't that good. If you've never seen the ThunderCats figures that came out around the time the show came out, they're really nothing to write home about. They were really kind of poor in quality. They were made by Bandai of America. And as you know, with the Power Rangers, if you all have collected Power Rangers toys or seen Power Rangers toys, anything that's kind of made from Bandai, that was made from Bandai of America, especially around that time frame, or that was still fresh around that time frame, their quality of toys wasn't all that great, and that really showed in the ThunderCats figures that came out. I mean, they looked decent, but they were really nothing to write home about. They didn't have a lot of articulation, and overall, I mean, the toys were pretty much a dud. They didn't really appeal to people, so that's also one of the contributing factors to that show's demise. Let's see. ThunderCats Word knows what it wants to be, and a few pacing quibbles aside, it does well. Also, ThunderCats Word undeniably has the best snarf, which might not be saying much, but has to be worth something. For those of you that don't know what they're saying there, and again, this is something that you'll find out pretty early on, is that Snarf is a robot in this one, and it's whatever. So I saw the first 2 episodes, like I said, of ThunderCats Word. I was not entertained by any of them. I think that it's trash. It's sort of garbage. It's not funny. It tries hard to be funny. But look, I know that it's something that will probably appeal to somebody out there. I'm not the one, and not just me, several other people. Not just because, we want the old ThunderCats. It's just like, the thing is, this is the kind of show that you make for something like Teen Titans, right? With Teen Titans Go, you could kind of at least, even though I know there's a lot of people that saw the original Teen Titans cartoon and saw this one and really, they don't like Teen Titans Go, but you could see that as more of a natural progression for it getting to that, as opposed to ThunderCats, which is much more of a series that was really trying to be serious for its time, even though it had its things for kids in the 1985 series, and they tried to get a little bit more serious by the 2011 series. It's something that, for the most part, is trying to tell a serious story with, of course, little things for kids in there aside. Whereas this one just tries to go full blown, just not take itself seriously at all, and not really try to tell a serious story. It really doesn't. So, and not that you would expect it to. I mean, just from seeing it on the surface and seeing how it looks and how it's animated, you wouldn't think that that was their aim anyways. So there's people that are going to be out there that are going to say, well, this series is not for you. Okay, fine. I mean, that's, I gave it a shot just to see if it's something that would appeal to me or not, and it absolutely does not. It's trash. It's utter garbage, in my opinion. But if somebody likes it, if they think that it does ThunderCats justice, I guess to each their own. I don't think that it does. I think that ThunderCats deserves a proper series that's going to tell a more sophisticated story, in my opinion, because that seemed to be where it was going with the 2011 series. For the most part, everybody, like I said, that has told me about that series tells me nothing but good things about it and liked the direction that it seemed to be going in. So why not get a proper conclusion to that series, right? Instead of making this one. Now, I'm sure one thing that'll happen is, because this style seems to be popular with very young kids, I'm sure probably the merchandise will probably sell better for this than it did for the ThunderCats 2011 series. But yeah, doesn't mean that the series is good or that it's going to be a worthy successor in any way, shape, or form. I guess that's up to whoever's opinion on the matter, but I think it's utter trash. It's not something that's appealing to me, and it's not just me saying it because of not actually watching it. I actually sat through both episodes, watched them, didn't like it. Probably will never like it, but if you do, if you're somebody that has watched it and you like it, hey, look, more power to you. You know what I mean? Different strokes for different folks. I think it's fine for us to agree to disagree whether or not it's a good series. But yeah, I think it's absolute garbage, and it's something that nobody asked for. That's just my take. So anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. Let me know if you like it. If you didn't like it, What expectations do you have for the future of ThunderCats as a franchise? And yeah, until next time, the hunt continues. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a like, share, and comment below.